The day has finally arrived. We are going to be framing the very first wall inside our garage apartment addition build. Essentially, we are building a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000-square-foot living space that's going to sit on top of our 2-car garage.
Right.
So in many ways, this is more complicated than the main house because we have never built anything on 2 stories before.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's pretty complex. There's a lot going on that we have to figure out. We'll see how it goes. But before we get to actual work, there are a bunch of our building materials that have been set outside. We got our lumber delivery. They just kind of plopped everything right here. I want to get some of it protected and just out of the weather. We're going to fire up the tractor. We'll get some of this stuff loaded up, and then we're actually going to stow it temporarily in the shop. I'm going to cut these bands, and then we'll probably have to do this in 2 separate trips. We'll just move these over onto the forks, get those stowed away, and then we'll come back to the BCIs.
Okay.
Ah, BCIs, rim joists. Doesn't it feel like we just did this?
I'm having an extreme case of deja vu.
I literally feel like I was just messing with these things for the house. Crazy.
It's even the same week of the year. Same temperatures.
I don't know if you remember, but we have to stand them up because they're a little floppy.
Yep.
Ready? Which way are we going? This way?
No one likes them floppy. Oh my gosh, they're heavier than I remember. No, it's going to be so fun up on the ladder though.
We'll have a floor. We'll have a floor and we'll have the settees on top of that. Oh no. This is the floor. Oh, I'm getting it all messed up.
No, we're gonna kill this build.
We're ready to go. Look at us.
And I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly.
1, 2, down, up.
I am an old road walking on my feet. I am laughing a weeping willow tree. I am a dog barking, a honeybee sting. I ain't no angel, but I've got my wings. I'm gonna fly.
I'm gonna scoot it in, just holler at me if it becomes a problem.
I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly.
Now that everything is safely stored away, we are officially ready to start framing our first wall. We are starting with the most simple wall on the build. It is going to be the back wall. It only has a single window because most of the wall is going to be staircase that leads up to the apartment.
Yeah, just one. You ready to go? Ready to tackle this?
I'm ready.
Step 1, all over again. Let's do it, mama. Oh, framing gun. Hello, old friend. I'll be reading books. You guys want to help us unwrap this like a big Christmas present? We need some of the lumber that's under here. Yeah.
Josh is excited over this.
Ooh, look at you go. You're doing it. We're doing it. All over again. All right. We took our angle grinder and actually ground down all of the little burrs that we had on top of the stem wall here for our concrete foundation. We also already carried over the top and bottom plate for this first section of wall that we are going to build and stand up, get set in place here today. The bottom plate is actually made up of a 2x6 that is treated. Since it's going to be coming in direct contact with concrete, moisture can wick up. We want to mitigate that using the treated wood. Also, we're going to get things aligned. We're going to smack that 2x6, which will leave some indentations for where it is that our anchor bolts are within the foundation. We'll drill those out. That way, as we are getting all our studs aligned, we'll know whether or not we have any issues with them running into each other, right?
Right.
We know what we're doing now. We've done this before.
Right.
And now we're doing it again.
We still don't know what we're doing.
Not at all.
I think I need to get back to wearing work gloves.
Yeah, for sure. You have some?
Nope.
I'll get you some the next time I go down to the depot.
Get me girl ones. Oh boy.
Purple, pink, what you want?
Oh,
Mama's choice.
I don't care.
tactical black it
surprise
is.
me. No black.
This first section of wall, we don't have any windows, doors, or protrusions. Melissa, you like that word?
Yes,
protrusions.
wonderful.
Because of that, we are just setting all of our studs on 16-inch centers the whole way down.
They say home is where the heart is, and it's right where we belong. Doesn't matter where we come from, there's a place for everyone. I can finally see, it's so clear to me. I found
Oh, I'm sorry.
my home
That is not where I
right here.
intended that to go. Jeremy got all of the studs crowned to the outside. He's going to attach them. I'm going to lay the sill seal down so that we don't have any moisture issues. Once we get all of the studs attached, we're going to get the big kids to come out and help us lift. We're hoping that we can lift it without the sheeting on, but if not, we're going to have to get Big Pape over here to help us lift the wall.
It's like old times, Mama. This being the first wall that we were framing for our garage addition, things are a little different this time than they have been in the past. We are working on a relatively uneven surface. It's just gravel that's been laid in here for the time being. Eventually we will have a concrete slab. We're not there yet. It was really nice to have that surface in the house. We had the floor. With our tiny home build over in the shop, we had that nice concrete slab. So we're making it work. I'm just having to make sure that all of our studs are aligned properly to the top and bottom plate before I begin nailing. Also, unfortunately, with our layout, the way things turned out, the holes that we screwed for all of our anchor bolts, we actually had 4 of them that aligned perfectly with the studs that we're setting in place here. So what we're gonna have to do is just find a workaround. We'll bump each of those 4 studs over one way or the other, just so we can attach the wall with our anchor bolts here. Shouldn't be too big of a problem, shouldn't affect our sheeting, shouldn't affect our drywall down the road. So we'll work around that, keep nailing everything up, and then hopefully here we have a wall standing very, very soon.
I'm at the base of the mountain running uphill. You're either running
we'll hold
for
it on
the
the
top,
end.
coming
Do it
down,
down.
or you stuck still. It's so low, how to see, then it's
We got Nevea and Kaimani out here with us. Stop tickling me. They're gonna help us get this first wall up. We've been here before, we know what we're doing, right?
like a drum beat, like a drum beat. The way up, the way up, the way up, I need all that. The way up, the way up, the way up, I need all that. And after all and all along, it's just a wheel we're spinning on. It's the bottom of the barrel, I know.
You lift today?
A little bit.
A little bit. I'm gonna lift tonight. You wanna go for a run?
Yep.
It's so nice out. Let's go for a run, man. All right, that is day 1, wall number 1. Smooth day. It's kind of nice to get back into things, right?
It actually feels really good to be out here and framing again.
Yeah, it was a long winter. We didn't really do all that much physical labor as far as like, especially with framing or anything like
Yeah.
that. It was all finished work over the winter. So feels really nice. Tomorrow we'll come back out. I'm gonna get a head start on section number 2 of this back wall. We have a window that we have to frame out, so should be another good day. Ready, dude? You stretched out, warm?
Yep.
7 miles, man. Let's do this.
I woke up in the world I wanted. Sunrise dancing with the morning. In your eyes, I swear I saw it. I woke up in the world I wanted. I woke up in the world you gave me. New horizon in the making.
Foot pursuit.
Wish I could bottle up and save this moment. I woke woke up in the world I wanted. It used to be a dream, but now it's you and me. It used to be a dream, but now it's you and me.
As you guys know, I've really been focusing on trying to get back into shape, and this is something I've been doing with Kaimani in hopes of just spending a little additional time with him. The added bonus is that I haven't felt this great in years. I really feel like I'm healthier and I'm getting back to that level of fitness that I've come to expect from myself. We've been really busy the past couple of years, and I felt like I started to use that as an excuse as to why it is that I couldn't work out. But I started using Copilot a few months back, and it's provided me with a custom workout plan tailored to fit my goals, abilities, and busy schedule. Copilot isn't just another one of those fitness apps. It provides support from a real person that I can talk with regularly about my progress.
Also, if there's anything, up with the workouts, if you want anything adjusted.
I've got some past injuries, and these days my goals are less about being buff and more just about being healthy. I was able to discuss that with my expert coach before he even created my first workout. If I ever happen to feel like maybe my workouts are getting just a little too easier, let's say my bad back is bothering me in a given week, all I have to do is contact my Copilot coach and he can adjust my customizable workout plan to either be a little more challenging or to work around my bad back with some stretching. Copilot works great for me because it's so flexible. I can work out in our home gym or even in the comfort of our living room on a busy day. It should come as no surprise that over 75% of Copilot users are still working out after 100 days, which in today's world speaks volumes. It means that Copilot users are more than 9 times more successful at sticking to their fitness goals. To check out Copilot for yourself and get support from real people and customized flexible workouts tailored specifically to your needs and goals, just click on our link to get a free trial with your own expert fitness and health coach.
This morning, the horses are getting their feet trimmed. We do this about every 8 weeks. We don't put shoes on our horses. We keep them barefoot. So it only happens about every 8 weeks. Lexon here does really, really well with it. He seems to like it. Coda, however, has some kind of extreme fear with having his feet messed with. So we're not really sure what is causing it. He definitely struggles with it. At first he was rearing and even striking at the farriers. So we've gone through a few farriers. We found one gal that's willing to deal with him. We're hoping today goes a little bit smoother. He's been getting a little bit better and a little bit better every time. So even though he was rounded up when he was just a yearling, he still carries a lot of those wild horse traits. One of them being the deep fear of everything. Horses are prey animals, and so it can take something like a bird flying by or a tree branch breaking, and he can go from being the calmest horse in the world to jumping sky high in about half of a second. So it does make him a little unpredictable, and it's something that we didn't really anticipate having to worry about because he was so calm when he was 2.5 when we got him. But as he's gotten older, he's almost become more and more nervous. So although he's like a puppy dog, most of the time, 1% of the time, he's just an absolute crazy wild horse. So we got Coda for the kids, and we're just struggling a little bit with getting him to calm down and be predictable enough for us to trust him to have them on him without one of us around. So we made it through the trim. Lexon, of course, perfect angel. Coda, typical behavior from him. So we're not only seeing this behavior during the trimming of his feet, it's also when we try to saddle him if we haven't ridden for a few days, or we're trying to lead him and he just doesn't want to walk forward. He's just kind of throwing these little tantrums. And so I think for the kids, we've got some tough decisions to make with Coda. I'm going to try to work with him a lot this spring. But I'm not really sure where this is going to go and whether or not this is going to work out. We've put about 18 months into it, but he's becoming a safety concern for the kids. So we're just going to play this by ear this spring. As far as the work goes today, we are getting a typical late start. Not only did the horses have spa day today, but Kaimani, Kira, and Eli are definitely under the weather. It was a long night last night. I will tell you that nothing will get your feet on the floor faster than a small child heaving in your living room. So today, everyone is now resting, starting to feel a little bit better, hopefully relaxing in the sun. We have a plan to get this second wall up. We've got a window in this wall. It's a 4x5. We're also going to be doing 4x5 windows going down the side of the garage. So just one at the base of the stairwell. And our whole back wall will be framed and up.
More cuts, more framing. Two at a time.
Showing off.
Probably.
I'm going to remain humble at one. Better move or I'm going to skewer you. Excuse me, Kenny.
Excuse you. Excuse you. Excuse. Oh, there you go. Good boy. Thank you. Is that it? You're just gonna move back a couple inches? Boop. Make sure you got something to grab. Ready? Same deal as yesterday. Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Over to the edge. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We got wall section number 2 stood up without any issues. It actually went on really, really nicely, nicer than the first section. With that in place, now you'll see we have this really wide, rough opening here. I decided to do all of our window framing once the wall was up, just to spare us on some additional weight. What I did notice in getting this wall stood, however, is that we have a couple spots where I'd like to add an anchor bolt. We didn't have any land in very favorable spots, so we're actually going to bore out a couple holes, get those filled in with some anchor bolts, tighten them up. We should be good to go.
Now that the wall is secure, we are going to frame out the window. We want all the windows to match the window on the back of the house as well. That way it just looks nice and uniform. So when we were framing out our first windows, we were watching videos on how other people did windows because we have learned everything that we know as far as building on YouTube.
And
now we are going back and watching our own videos to see how we frame the windows. One, because we want them to match, and also because it's been 2 years since we framed a window,
Yeah,
so
it's been a good refresher. We've come full circle.
it's just funny to watch our own.
I can be a man, be big and tough for you, darling. That won't be enough. I would learn to move mountains, not learn to part the sea. Whatever you want, whatever you need, you're the light in the tunnel when I'm feeling gray. You're the sun peeking through on that cold winter's day. And if I could change a thing, you know, nothing would be changed. 'Cause I love you so, and I'm glad you came.
Rough window opening number 1. The framing of that is going very well here on our garage apartment edition. Is that what we're calling it? We
I
need to
don't
come up with
know.
an official name here.
Yeah, we should just name it Bob or something to keep it easy. It's
The
such a
addition on the
mouthful.
house. So we got all of our jack studs in place for that rough opening. We're about to set the sill piece, which is just that bottom portion of lumber that supports the window. That'll rest on the 2 shorter jack studs. And I wanted to talk about just how with the house we had a lot of learning that went on. We haven't had any issues with any of our rough openings, and I think a big portion of that is because we always slant our sill pieces outward, so that if any moisture were to hypothetically make it back behind this window, it has no chance of tracking into the interior of the house. It'll just flush right back out because it's a protrusion.
Oh, you really like that word.
Word calendar. I was just trying to fit it in.
We could name it Gabby.
Oh, what?
Garage apartment build yourself.
Gabby?
Gabby. It's Gabby.
You just come up with that?
Yeah.
I like it.
Like, we're working on Gabby today.
Gabby, the addition.
The garage apartment build yourself.
I love it.
It's named. That's easier than saying everything.
Oh, I got your phone.
Hello?
Perfect timing.
Probably my mom. Mom, coming. I missed it.
Who was it? Can you see it?
My mom.
Everything for the window has been framed out. We got a bunch of cripple studs set beneath our window sill. That looks great. For the window header, we're gonna have to build that using some 2x material, actually a 2x10. 2x10s is what we should have had. Unfortunately, I have a bunch of 2x12s to use, so 2 of these 3 boards are gonna have to be ripped down so that we have that 9 1/4 inches up over our jack studs. Should fit that space that we have left over perfectly. So we're gonna pull out the table saw, get those ripped down, and then each board is actually gonna have a 1/2 inch of OSB set in between each one of them so that we have that full 5.5 inches that we need to fill that cavity.
We had such a great week framing the first wall on a build that's going to keep us busy for quite a while. Last week we were feeling a little nervous about getting started, but once we smelled the lumber and we heard the nail gun firing away, we were instantly transformed to a familiar time where we were so full of hope and excitement. A time that I was feeling a bit sad to see go. We are once again constructing something with our own 2 hands. Something that we created in our minds for our family. Watching this piece of land develop into our home more and more with each and every project has been such a privilege and an extreme blessing.
There it is, Mama. There's one.
First wall.
Hey, that one's smooth.
Good.
Huh?
Almost like we learned a few.
No, seriously, it's so much better this time than it has been in the past.
And honestly, it just feels really good to be back out here and at it again.